Hello, the stream countdown has stopped. That means it is time for me to start painting. And we are going to paint on our first stream this Sylvaneth. And I can hear myself. Why can I hear myself? Hopefully that's fixed it. Oh, I know I can hear myself because I've got my Twitch running. Right, there we go. That has fixed it. So this Sylvaneth, let's get right into it. We're going to paint first with Sandry Dust, maybe. I'm just thinking about browns. I've got Talon Sand, maybe. This one is too dark. This Mornfang is way... Get out of the way. Mornfang is far too dark. I do have, if I can get it, come out. I've got this Wildwood, but that's going to make her probably too dark as well. I think we'll try the Talon Sand first. So I'm going to load that onto my wet palette. Just grab a brush, that will do. So, how are we doing? Are we well, chat? Oh god, there's 4 of you in. That's more than I expected. I don't know if anybody missed it, but this is my first stream, and we're starting on this lovely Sylvaneth tree lady. She's got a little imp or gremlin or whatever it is at the back there. Another one on this branch here, so we'll get those painted up all nice. Right, so I've got some of that on there. Grab a smaller brush, not that small, that'll do. And then we'll get on with painting. So this is my first stream, so trying to paint around a camera is brand new to me. But we'll work it out together. We'll do what we can. Are we going to name ourselves in chat? Is anybody going to own up to being here? I know who one of you is, but I sent a few links out to a few different people. Probably should have sent out a few more actually, but I guess we'll see how many show up. I might send out a few more. I have a strange feeling my wet palette isn't quite wet enough. If there's any of you that don't know out there, a wet palette is exactly what it says on the tin. Literally just water and a sponge with a little bit of greaseproof baking paper on top, and you put your paint on there and it helps to thin it, and your paints should be going a lot further than they would if you just put them straight out the pot. So I'm just trying to get right into every sort of crevice and things under the chin. I have to admit I'm not looking forward to painting this model. I bought the box and thought, why did I buy this box? It's the sculpts are lovely, they all look really nice. They were a pain to build, a real pain. So if you look at her feet, there's barely anything touching the base there. The left foot especially, it was quite hard. You'd sometimes glue them and they'd fall over instantly, or they would they'd just not glue. There are some with bigger feet, and there is a huge model. There's a really quite a big model. That one's on a much bigger base and stood perfectly. If anybody wants to Google the Sylvaneth, feel free to post a link in chat so people can know what these should look like and what Games Workshop, the people who make them, decided they should look like at least. Really trying to get this chat going. Oh, a new follower, Mr. Wixie. Hello. Welcome into the stream. Sorry to the people that have already heard, but Mr. Wixie. Oh, and somebody else. Who's that? Jim Jam H. Thank you, Jim Jam. If anybody is new, Sylvaneth, we're painting today for the first stream. Just trying to get a coat of a lighter brown on her, and we will darken her up a bit and maybe add some greens on the sort of branch that's coming out the back that you can't see because I've stupidly put my name there. There's maybe, I can't decide if they're wings or they're leaves, but we'll work it out when we get to painting it. We're gonna go to probably 9 o'clock, I'm thinking. Just do a short hour, see how things go, see how you guys like it and how I like it. Fully expect that if you come back for a second stream, this will be completely different, because I can already feel my back going. I've got a bad back anyway, and I'm leaning forwards in this chair, which is not good, because you can see, well, yeah, I mean, you can see half of my face, and I do apologise for that, but I'm kind of over here, and my webcam's over there. Does that? Yeah, that's better. See, we got the first change already. But yes, I've quite a bad back and slumped over this camera that's down here filming my lovely tree lady who is constantly out of focus. Hopefully you guys are following along okay, and you can see everything. Still don't see much in the chat, guys. Oh, just as I said, Mosius, thanks for the follow. I'm not sure what that image of a cat is that keeps popping up next to the follows, or why the messages are so condensed and weird, but again, it's another thing to work on. Still nobody chatting. Come on, guys. Someone's got to speak. Someone's got to be first, and then we can all be a big community of people, being kind to one another and laughing and joking at my expense, probably. Yeah, this model is absolutely foul to paint. Sorry, I should be more positive and nice. Yeah, this is great. You should all paint models like this. This is absolutely not something I would usually paint. Just off camera are the things I usually paint, and I'll be honest, when I get this brown all the way across, I may switch and I may paint something I'm more used to painting, because hopefully that'll be a more joyful experience for you and for me, because I sort of know what I'm doing a bit more. Hopefully, maybe, we'll see. Ah, just check the chat, Jim Jam, with the Bob Ross. Not quite as good of a painter as he is. I'm sure my presenting style isn't as good as his either. But I was on Twitch the other day and I noticed that he was streaming. Now, my understanding is that he's dead, but am I wrong? I don't know why I think he's dead. I just thought he was dead, but he was definitely in the frame. He was definitely live streaming. I mean, I know that he could have pre-recorded it and whatever else, but they just stream his Joy of Painting show. Ah, thank you. So he is dead. Bob Ross is no longer with us. I presume that's what that means. Yes, sadly. Thank you, Jim Jam. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I didn't watch much of the stream. He's painting on a massive canvas, and I'm used to painting little plastic guys. It's very different, and he's a lot better painter than I am. So I didn't want to upset myself, thinking, oh, one day I'll be able to paint like him. So the idea of this stream is that I can maybe interest some of you guys into this hobby. Sorry, realised I'm painting off camera. I can interest some of you guys into this hobby, or I can sort of spark up some interest in... Oh no, the camera! What have I done? There, we're back. So I can spark up some interest in some sort of artistic hobby or anything like that. I do have a Discord server, which I may link, which I'm more than happy to edit to accommodate anyone and everyone who wants to speak about any of their hobbies. So let me know if that's something you are interested in. Sorry, if I keep looking this way, it's because my phone lights up. Very professional, very professional. So there's... You can see the bit there. I'm not sure if it's a dress or anything, it's supposed to be a loincloth or anything, but there's nothing on the back. It's definitely her woody colour on the back. Is this leaves? Is it just long bark? What do we think, chat? What colour should we make this area here? I'd like your opinion. I'd like a second opinion, please. I'm not sure how much delay is on this either, but Jim Jam's statements about Bob Ross seem to be coming in pretty quickly. So at least I know Jim Jam can hear me, or at least I know you should all be able to hear me, which is good. I'm sure it's quite dull when I'm not speaking and I'm trying to speak as much as I can, which means you're going to get really bored of my voice, and I'm sorry about that because it's not the nicest voice in the world. I'm no Morgan Freeman, but I try my best. It's such a godly voice, so I've just got this dull northerner voice. Well, mainly because I'm a dull northerner, but hey ho, you can't win them all. I'm sure by now you can tell I'm quite nervous about this. So again, that's another reason I'm speaking, to just fill gaps. One thing I did want to point out though is that you all are so bored right now. You are literally watching paint dry. Yep. You're all just realising that, but you are literally watching paint dry. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope. Does anyone want to say they are or they aren't enjoying it? I'm pretty happy for somebody to say they're not enjoying it, given that the amount of people watching has gone down. Yeah. I just got a Discord message from somebody watching saying everyone left. Yeah. Like I just said, you can't win them all. Oh, thanks for sticking about though. Thanks for not leaving. You can type in chat. Yeah, to Discord message me. Nobody else is watching, then nobody else can see you chat. So we're onto the head here, which again you can't see. Sorry, I'm really having to look at the miniature and concentrating on the miniature, then I've got to look over at my webcam and realise you can't see it. People leaving is good. That tells me I'm doing something wrong, which is good, but I'd like to know what I'm doing wrong, because if I don't know, then I can't improve it. So I'll be sure to post in the Discord after this and see what people hated so much they left. People leaving doesn't bother me so much. I know I'm making quite a big deal out of it and keep bringing it up, but genuinely, I've got one person watching. If I'm entertaining one person, or even if they're just, if you're just here and you've got me muted, I'm not bothered. It does boost my ego to even just have one person following. I remember my first view on YouTube coming through, and how excited I got about that. I was like, somebody's acknowledged me. It was like a dog. It's like, oh, look what I've done. So much so that I almost missed the pub quiz I was going to that evening, because I stayed in uni too long, because I uploaded it just at the end of my university day, and I stayed there and I was like, oh, it's got 2 views now, oh, it's got 10 views now, oh, it's got whatever, and it got to about 70 views before I left uni, and then went to the bar where the quiz was taking place, and turned on my data, turned on YouTube Creator Studio, and just watched the views tick up. And yes, okay, I asked for those views, but who doesn't ask for views? Okay, so that's most of the base brown done on there. She looks so shiny. Why does she look so shiny? The bottom part doesn't, so I presume that's dry, and this stuff is still a bit wet. Let's touch that up though. So we'll do this branch. I've left her eyes white there, or as white as I can make them. I don't think that was white. No, I've gone into the eye socket. Sorry, gone into the eye socket a little bit there. Which you can't see, there you can. It'll be fine, we'll work it out. It's not a big problem. Okay, this is quite a tricky bit because I can't decide what's tree and what's the little imp do. Yeah, that's the branch she's holding onto there. Really, that's quite messy. He's got a horrible tail wrapped around this branch. I also wouldn't have thought that a Sylvaneth was perhaps the choice of mount you would want, because surely she's going into war. So riding a tree in a war zone, does this imp have the death wish, or I don't know. Luckily for him, this one's never going into war because I'm never buying a Sylvaneth army, mainly because of how bad this one is to paint. Yeah, I'll stop complaining about the model at some point, probably when it's painted. Is that the only other bit of branch? No, I see its wing. There's a tiny little bit in there. I'm used to painting these models with sort of hobby glasses on. I don't have my hobby glasses on today, so the model is a lot smaller than maybe I expected. Sorry, I've just dove off camera now. There we go. Right, I'm back. And with that, so if you hear my stomach rumbling now, I've not eaten in 20 minutes, that means I must be hungry. Sorry, I do keep looking over at the screen to see if anybody else has joined or if the chat is picking up again. Oh, we've gone up to 3. That's something at least. Good to have the support. Welcome aboard. Right, I am going to give up with the brown now. Just wash this brush out. What happens if I do this? I'm not sure, but that's the wrong one anyway. That was the one I wanted. And I'm just going to change that to 5 minutes. I'm going to start it. I'm going to just take a quick break, try and get my back support in, and you can have a look at the model so far. Back in a sec. Okay, so I am back. I don't know what's going on with the camera, why it's become so grainy. Let's not zoom in anymore, let's put you back there. You're definitely in focus. Let's see. Edit this and go to the minicam. Sorry, I'm just looking around my microphone to try and fix this. No idea let's do this. Sorry, bear with me just a second. I am very new to Twitch, and yeah, it reckons it's streaming at 720p. Doesn't look like 720p to me. Yeah, let's just crack on, I think. We gotta hope it comes back. It should fix itself. We don't know. Just pressing that on the camera. Ah! Press that button and it works. That looks like it's fixed it. Okay, so the next paint we're going with is Agrex Earthshade. This is as you can see in the pot there, it's a very liquidy paint. It's consistency of sort of milk. It's not quite water. It's slightly thicker, and what you'll see, I mean, yeah, what you're looking at is a humanoid tree, essentially a smaller female version of Treebeard from Lord of the Rings, for you guys who know Lord of the Rings out there. And when we paint this on, we'll go with this leg here, and you'll see it's ever so slightly, there's not a right lot on the brush, just ever so slightly makes it glossy, and when that gloss dries, it'll dry darker. So if I add slightly more to the brush, you'll see it really sitting in the sort of recesses in the leg. You see it provides a really natural shade. Not the camera again. Is it back? Yeah, it's back. Yeah, it provides a really natural shade to the arm. I've put to the whole body. A put a little bit too much on there, so you can just touch it up again with the brush and go across the other arm. Obviously, because she is a tree, she is kind of bumpy, so there's going to be a lot of pulling. You just got to keep on top of it, I suppose, when painting, and make sure she doesn't look too ridiculous, and she just looks dark where she should be dark. Dropped a little bit in her mouth there by accident, but it worked. Yeah, it needs to look like what a tree would look like if it came to life. Now, I don't know what a tree would look like if it came to life, but I'm pretty sure it would look something like this. I don't know if any of you are tree experts, and you can I don't know if you can sort of give me an indication of what type of tree this might have been, or anything like that. Any of the green-fingered among you? So yeah, you got to be really careful. I can see a bit there now where I missed with the brown paint. This is where chat would have been useful. Tell me, oh, Mellow, you've missed this, you missed that. It's fine. We make that darker. If it doesn't work, we'll go back in with a lighter brown. These things happen. We're nearing 50 minutes already. This has gone a lot quicker than I thought. And the battery on the camera's not died yet. I just keep knocking it out of my camera. Out of my laptop. So maybe I'll stream a little bit longer than an hour. I've just got a Facebook message and I can't read it. Do excuse me a moment. Excellent. Just somebody telling me that coming and dropping it in the stream, which is always nice. People are very much welcome to come and watch me paint. I was going to say anytime they like. Please don't turn up at my house. Social distancing and all that. But the plan is to stream every Thursday now. Hopefully that stays around. But I'm not at my house. I'm not streaming from my house. My Wi-Fi is not good enough. And there's also not really enough desk space to be able to paint properly and to show you it. So I'm streaming from an office around the corner from my house, which the owner has very kindly let me do. So thanks to him. And with that being said, I reckon that's enough of the darker brown. I do apologise for any shadows or anything that may be cast on the model. I'm trying my best with limited lighting. I got the basic setup and I thought, let's go with it, let's go for it, let's do it. And that's what I did. Hi Ashley, hello, welcome into the stream. We're getting the numbers back on the stream again, which is nice to see. Actually, what you've missed so far is we took this Sylvaneth and we turned it from a grey model into a slightly more tree looking model. It's brown at least, which is always a start. Now we gotta pick a leaf colour. I have a lot of different greens. I was thinking at first, let's get you in focus, I was thinking at first Vulcan green, which is quite a dark colour. I'm not sure. There's also Death Guard green, which is a slightly lighter colour. Moon green. Moon green's too light, isn't it? It's way too light on this, this dark tree colour. Hello to Steph, who's just privately messaged me saying she's watching. Thank you for that. There's Contrast Plague Bearer Flesh, which I cannot remember what it looks like. Contrast paints work in a slightly different way to the standard, the smaller paints. I showed Wildwood earlier, but they're slightly more watery, not quite as watery as the shade paints, but what they do is they tint things similar to what the other paints do. Now if I can find something in this big box of miniatures I have, so what I was talking about earlier, what I'm used to painting are guys like this. This is my Gloomspite Gits army. It's coming along. It's about 1,500 points I think at the moment for you into Warhammer. If you're not into Warhammer, that's a medium-sized army, or approaching a medium-sized army. There are lots of different models in here. The profile picture that you've seen, sorry if you can hear some rustling and anything like that. The profile picture that you've seen is one of the miniatures from this army. Now I can't spot this other guy, so I don't think he's in this box. But I think maybe for now. Oh, new follower. Oh, thank you actually. Very kind of you. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this model to one side, and we're going to pick up this guy, I think. So what I'm aiming to do is another tall model. So sorry, he doesn't quite fit in the shot. What we're aiming to do with this guy, he's got his skin painted. We want to give him a black cloak, more like this guy has. This guy's pretty much finished. There's a little bit more work that I need to do on him, but we'll give this guy his cloak first, I think. So let me just grab my paint. I can leave those off actually, I'm not listening to anything. I'll just knock the camera again. Oh, it's all gone wrong. There we go. Right, so we shake up the paint and then get my wet brush and stick some black on the wet palette there. For anybody interested who didn't hear earlier, the reason I use a wet palette is you can thin the paint easier, so your paint can go a lot further than perhaps it would do generally out of the pot, which is always good because it's more value for money that way, isn't it? And who doesn't like a bargain? So, black paint. I didn't show you the black paint, did I? Also don't know where I've put it. It's this stuff. This is Abaddon Black, if you like to paint along with me. I don't think any of you will do, but There's the moot green that I mentioned earlier for the skin. That shows you how bright it is once it's dried and out of the pot. So what I'm going to do now is just very carefully figure out where his robes are and change them from grey to black. It's nice to see so many people are watching. I say so many people, I can see there's 6 people watching, but that is 6, no, it's 5 more people than I expected. I had expected one person to show up, so yeah, it's nice that more of you showed up, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And we've got a few followers extra, which is good, and we've got some nice compliments that I've had in my personal messages, in my DMs. So yeah, you've all cheered me up for coming along. That's quite nice. Not that I was particularly sad anyway, but I'm happier now. So we are just picking up the bottom bit of his robe here. I really, really like this pose. Obviously he's throwing his massive mace in the air. Rivacious, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, so sorry, he's throwing his mace, and it's that heavy, it's lifting off the ground, which I think is excellent. It's a lot better of an action pose than maybe this guy is. Now he looks ready for battle, but he's not flying off into the air like this guy, or even this guy. Some of the other ones flying off there. They're all nice models. The Gloomspite Gates army are beautiful, beautiful models. Tiny models, but you can see a lot of effort has gone into sculpting, because it's not like, oh, this guy wears a cloak, so let's put a cloak on him. It's, this guy wears a cloak and he's floating in the air, so how would his cloak react? I love these guys to pieces. Not that I don't like any other models, but the reason I picked Gloomspite Gits for an Age of Sigmar army is because these look gorgeous. For those of you who don't know, Gloomspite Gits is the collection of these guys. So these ones are just grots. There's the little guys here, which are the squigs. This one's chomping on a bone, and squigs come in all sorts of different sizes. There's one being ridden. They've come with all sorts of weapons as well. There's ones with nets and bows and swords, but also they fight alongside other guys, some pretty big guys. This is a Troggoth, and he fights with his bat and his poison toad he has in his hand there, and he's quite a bit bigger than the little grots there. Anyway, we'll carry on painting this cloak. How's everyone doing tonight? Chat picked up a little bit, and then it's gone back down. How are we all? Let's get the interaction up. Let's get Twitch recognizing me, saying, "Hey, come watch this guy." Good, good, Ashley, good. Are you doing anything, Ashley, or are you just relaxing? Vivacious, that last fella looked nice. Yeah, this guy's a lot more nasty than he looks. I wouldn't want any of that mace in my head, or any of my body, I suppose. What's the rule of zombie apocalypse? Is it rule 1, aim for the head, and rule 2, don't miss? This is bringing back a lot of memories from my... Oh, but that's good actually. I'm glad I can bring back my memories. Have the sculpts changed much since you last had some? I had a good collection of squig hoppers. Yeah, I've seen some old squig hoppers when the bases were square, and they're not in the air. They're on... Oh, they were on the ground. The ones I've seen were on the ground, which I found bizarre. But I guess they're based on space hoppers, maybe, which spend most of the time on the ground as well. I was going to explain space hoppers then, but surely everybody knows what one of those is. If you don't, Google it. Space hoppers were quite a big part of my childhood. Space hoppers and go-karts. My auntie had a massive garden, and she lived on a cul-de-sac that was on a hill, so the go-kart went to the top of the cul-de-sac and went straight down the hill into a road, which probably wasn't the safest thing looking back, but I never got hit by a car. I fell off it quite a few times, but I never got hit by a car. But the space hoppers, we had, I think me and my cousins had space hoppers each, and we just sort of scraped them across the floor for hours and hours on end until they burst and one of us fell on our ass. Which didn't happen all that much, but after you've got about 6 months of it, with it being sat in the sun, boom, I feel it. For sure the model you're painting has so much more movement and designs. Yeah, the squig hopper was just a little stumpy fella and had an evil looking squig sat on the top, which is fine. It you know, it would still look nice, and I was absolutely still drawn to it, but I have to say these are much better, and the way that they're posed as well, so they're not all the same. So this one's disappearing in sort of a cloud, or bouncing off some sort of cloud after exploding something. There's this one here who's just catching a mushroom. Put that in focus now. He's just, so one foot's in the air and he's just sort of kicking that mushroom as he leaps, because he still have short stumpy legs. He's kicking a different mushroom, and he's snapped that one as he kicks it. Yeah, they're really nice models, and I think the box of squig hoppers is one of the better value boxes. So Ashley, if you do want a box, if you do want to get back into it, go for that. I'd maybe stay away from Games Workshop paints. I know I'm saying that, there's a whole wall of Games Workshop paints there, but they can be expensive and they can be quite disastrous. They have they're known to have horrible lids, and they're known to be quite easy to spill, and that they dry up in the pot. I've never had that, and I've had most of these. The longest I've had any of these paints is 2 years, and after 2 years they're still just like new. But you do see horror stories all the time saying, "Oh, I've moved mine into different bottles because the caps broke," and things like that. The worst one I've got is Gene Stealer Purple. This one is called. And let me just put my brush down somewhere. There we go. So Gene Steel Purple, the hinges on the back weren't moulded correctly, so you can see that one is open there. You can see it probably better there, but that one was moulded completely shut, so I had to take my knife to it and cut it open to make it a hinge, which means when it's open that, which means it doesn't sit open correctly. Sometimes it'll sit like that, and sometimes when you go for paint it'll just go like that and you can't get any paint, which is a shame. I've got purple all over my finger. It's a shame, but it does the trick. It paints purple, and if purple paints purple, that's difficult to say, then it's a win for me. So, what is this? I used to be a squig herder on Warhammer Online, bringing it all back. Squig herders, did I get any? I got any of those guys out? No. He's a loon boss. Give me a second. There's a squig herder. For those of you who don't know, he's playing his bagpipes, try and get his herd of squigs to move into the battlefield. I wish I had the time to get back into this. I love the lore and the detail. Yeah, a lot of my friends that recognise the Warhammer stuff I do, and they go, "Oh, I wish I could get back into this. I used to have loads of models as a kid," and they say, "Oh, I'm still interested in the lore." And I guess reading a book takes up less time than painting 2,000 points of little plastic dudes. I don't have a model count per se, otherwise I'd be able to translate 2,000 points. I know that in my final army there's going to be a load of these guys, or guys that look like this. There's going to be 60 of those. I've got 20 of them on the way now to sort of start that, but these models aren't cheap. So I'd buy them as and when I could. I'd probably buy them more than I should. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. As you can see, I've got these, and the difference between this guy and this guy are quite substantial. I know I keep bringing this one back in for reference, but I've had this one probably 2 months longer, and instantly I went, yeah, I'll paint that and get it done. With this guy, I've had this guy maybe 6 months by now. No, probably longer. But yeah, I've had it a while and only painted the green and the brown. Ravacious said, "Is it expensive to get into?" It is. The initial cost with all the models and the brushes and the paint and stuff you need to do it, it's not cheap. I suppose over time, if one pot of paint like this does 70 models, it's better, but you don't. I tend not to buy paints just for one specific model, because I'll go, oh yeah, I'll buy that, and then I'll never use it again, and it'll be, while it's only 2 or 3 quid wasted, it's 2 or 3 quid I could have put towards a different set of miniatures and stuff. Sorry, I've not been watching how much I'm painting off camera, but I should imagine it's quite a lot, and I do apologise for that. But yeah, Rivacious, it's not cheap to get into, but if you do have the spare cash, if you need a hobby, if you need a release, this is the perfect one. Even just painting the models, just buy and paint the models, and you don't have to, there's no sort of need to play the game. I don't play the game, but I'm learning Age of Sigmar, which this one is, and then I'm learning 40k, which is the sci-fi themed game by the same people, and then Christmas time brings a game called Blood Bowl back, which is again by the same people, and I pre-ordered it the other day. And what Blood Bowl is literal fantasy football. So it's American football with you can play it with these guys, or you can play it with humans or orcs or witches or elves and things like that. Looks well relaxing, just painting gets a bit fun. Yeah, I paint, and I'm somebody who stresses and worries about quite a lot, and I'll be honest, I feel quite confessional to this stream now, but what have I done? Oh no, change the battery pack. Oh no, is that the end of the stream? Unfortunately I don't have a replacement battery, so that may have to end the stream. But what I will say while I'm still here is yeah, I'm a person that stresses over quite a lot of different things, and since I sat down to paint, I try and paint a model a night, as a usual. There's some people who paint models in an hour, and some people paint models in 3 weeks. It's all relative, but I paint my models on one per night. I try to at least see if I've this guy. It's gonna be really hard to see on this camera. But he is my current profile image on this stream. Yeah, that guy I painted in 2 hours, 3 hours maybe, and it's such a good de-stress. It's really it's fun, it's rewarding, and I just sit and relax. Now I'm not I'm not so relaxed on this stream. This is it's kind of a big thing. My first live stream, still getting used to things and working out things, and this leaning over the camera has really not done my back any good, so my back is quite aching at the moment, which is kind of a good reason to stop. But yes, sorry, as you can see, let's do this. Aha. Yeah, so there's no camera, so I can move that out of my way and I can lean properly. Yeah, my back is absolutely killing me. Nice, couldn't tell it was only your first. Ah, thank you, Ravacious. That's very kind of you to say. That's very nice. Really nice to hear how much you got out of the painting. I look forward to watching some more sessions. Yeah, actually, I plan to stream every Thursday around 8 o'clock, and we'll go. It's around 9 o'clock. I said about an hour. We'll go till 9 o'clock. If I can do longer, I might go to 9:30, 10 maybe. We'll see. But I think with that being said, I'm gonna go. Do feel free. I am under the. I'll put notifications on so I don't miss the next one. Thank you, Ravacious. I believe. I'm happy to admit this, but I believe I know everybody in chat, and if I do know you, feel free, drop me a message, say how much you liked the stream, how much you didn't like the stream, what was good, what I could improve on. Really open for feedback. And I think I'm gonna have to end it there. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you next week. Oh, wrong hand. Bye. Bye.